What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Let Him Cook. Sorry about the wait there. I was having a little bit of a technical snafu. So tonight might be a really short stream. I'm making steak for the first time, but I have a really basic, like half-inch thin New York strip steak. I've never done this before in my life, but apparently it's really easy. You just cook it for like 2 to 3 minutes on each side, and then it's basically done. So on the food front, something brand new, but I'm starting it on easy mode. However, I am going to leak a little bit more of Stay tonight for those who are hanging out on the live stream, and kind of an unfinished reel version of the music video. We're not really sure if the music video is going to launch in time with the song itself, or if that's going to happen like a week later. It just depends on some technical stuff. But I can leak a little bit to you tonight. Now, normally I'd play like a music video or something else to kind of let you all filter into the chat, but I'm a little thin on the technical side of stuff tonight. I got a kind of a late start. So what we'll do is, since the steak probably won't take that long, we're going to also put together dinner. I was at Cava the other day, and I recognized that I'm looking at my bowl, and I'm like, basmati rice, mixed greens, red pepper hummus, Kalamata olives, a protein of some kind. I bet I could make this. What's up, Pyrex? Thanks for jumping in on YouTube. So tonight I am going to leak some of that brand new song that is releasing this Friday here in just a few days. Stay with myself, Sarah Smith Clodfelter, and JL Clodfelter. We're super stoked about it. But that'll be just a little bit later in the stream. For now, I think I need to start prepping ingredients and getting things started. I know we didn't do one of these last week. It's been a busy couple of weeks. But again, while I am doing this on easy mode, it's still the first time I've ever done it. I've made chicken. You've seen me make all kinds of like crock pot dishes and stuff like that while we're talking about music and scripture and all those things. We're going to continue doing that tonight. But guys, I gotta read the directions here. So I have this really basic article by, I think, someone named Debbie, about how to prepare profile. Can I gift $1? You know, I thank you for asking. I used to have a way that people could do donations a long time ago when I was like streaming gaming on Twitch. I don't even know if that is set up right now. But what you can do, what I would really appreciate, is if you're into music, I'll share my link tree in the chat. And if you would like to go stream some of my music on Spotify and follow me, that would be even better. So let me pull that over for you. Just a second, let me grab that, copy it. I'm going to drop that in the chat for you, profile. Okay, so here's kind of what our recipe says. It says that to do a New York strip, which this is, a very thin, basic New York strip that I got from Walmart today. Basically, all you need is butter and salt and pepper. According to this, you need to... Now this recipe is for if you have like an inch thick steak and you're going to finish it in the oven. But according to the bottom of this recipe, if you have a thinner one like what I have, you don't actually need to finish it in the oven. You can just kind of do the whole thing in a skillet and you'll be fine. I don't have a cast iron skillet, so we're just going to use what we got, right? What's up, Nathan? All right, so Nathan, this is what I got. I know you were telling me that you have an affinity for New York strip earlier. Literally, this is just the cheapest cut I could get at Walmart, because that way if I mess something up, it's not a big deal. This is it. Just like a half-inch, really simple. Okay, so here's what they're saying. We got to get the skillet super hot, with a little bit of oil, like some avocado oil or something. Place the steak in the hot skillet, cook without moving for 2 minutes on each side, creating a nice crust. And then it says cook the fat strip for 30 more seconds. I'm not really sure how you would do that without like picking it up and turning it on its side. Maybe that's kind of the deal here. So we're about to find out. It says cooking a thin steak. If your steak is about a half-inch thick, you can simply pan fry it, cooking for 2 minutes per side in a hot cast iron skillet. Again, I don't have a cast iron, so, we'll see. Even if your steaks are thicker, but you like them rare, you can simply pan fry them for 3 to 4 minutes plus 1 minute on the fat strip. All right, here we go. So let's kind of start getting some things prepped here over at the oven. And then once we get these steaks finished and we try it, then we'll do a little bit of a music leak for you guys. So first thing I need to do is get this pan apparently really hot. So we're just going to put this all the way on high. While we do that, let's make sure our ingredients are prepped. Got my salt and pepper. And grab some butter. And then my avocado oil. So as I was reading through this, apparently you want to... Abby's, what's up, Abby? Thanks for joining on YouTube. Is this the recipe? Oh, yeah, Justin, I didn't actually mean for it to be this blue. Normally I have my kicker light back here doing some work, but it's pretty intense tonight. I don't know. I had to reset some stuff. This is not the recipe that you sent me. I'm sorry. This is because what I have is a really thin New York strip that apparently I can just hot fry for like 2 to 3 minutes on each side and then a little bit on the fat strip and it's done. So the steak won't take much time at all, and then we're going to just assemble a bowl with it. Okay, so pan is heating up. Apparently though, I need to season the steak before we put it in the pan with the salt and pepper. So let me go back up here and read the instructions a little bit. Steaks are typically to season, kosher, salt, and black pepper. And then we will finish it with butter while it's hot. Steaks are typically minimally seasoned with just salt and pepper. You want the meat to shine through, especially using a high quality beef. I got this from Walmart. It was like 11 bucks. It's my first time. We're just learning. It's fine to add a pinch of additional spices such as garlic powder and smoked paprika, but they'll char in the hot skillet, producing blackened steak. If you add spices, sear the steak for just 1 minute per side and increase the time it spends in the oven. So this is a put it in the oven recipe similar to what you had talked to me about, but because I'm using thinner steaks, I actually don't need to do the oven portion of it. So we're going to do it all in the skillet. You were lagging out on Instagram. Well, thanks for letting me know, Nathan. If anybody else watching on Instagram is having a connection problem, just let me know. I've been trying to keep an eye on things. Okay, so I can already feel this getting hot next to me. So we need to prep these guys. We need to season them up. So I guess I'll do that in a big bowl. Big bowl acquired. Okay, let's move over here. Grab a knife, open this up, and I guess we're just going to coat this down with salt and pepper. And I think a little bit of garlic powder sounds good too, because again, what I'm going to do is after these are cooked, I'm going to cube them and store them so that I can add them to these like Mediterranean rice bowls I've been eating lately. YouTube is the new Instagram for me, says Callista. What's happening over on Instagram? You're like the second person that has bailed out of Instagram today and come over to YouTube. Is there some kind of connection problem on YouTube that I'm not seeing? It looks pretty smooth to me. But thank you for joining. I was saying at the top of the broadcast, I'm going to do a little bit of a leak of the Stay music video here about midway through the stream. It's actually kind of what I was working on just before I got here. There's still a lot of work left to do on it, but there's a portion of it that I've made into some advertisement reels, and I can show you some unfinished. This is what happens when you come for the live stream. You get the stuff nobody else gets to see. Okay, so I'm going to grab a little bit of garlic powder, I think. Not a lot. Yeah. But I think that'll go well with the other ingredients I'm using. Let's get rid of this. Sunny Shine says, nothing is wrong with Insta. Connection is great. Awesome. Thank you for letting me know. I appreciate that. Okay. So I know for sure that I don't want to overdo the salt, right? So let's just get the black pepper going in here. Be very conservative with the salt. Get it on both sides, and a little bit of garlic powder. Oh, okay, you're taking a break from Instagram. I get that. I hear that. Wow, that's probably way too much garlic powder. We may not even put that on the other side because I may have slightly overdone it there. Here's the thing, man. I feel like I always have to wash my hands after everything I do. I've done that. I've done the social media break before. Okay, same thing. Black pepper. And salt on this side. Make sure that's really all set in there. Nice. So I got the New York strip because it was the cheapest. That way there were very low stakes if I messed anything up. But what is your, what's your favorite? What's your favorite cut? You a sirloin person? Are you a T-bone person? If you have a preference, what is it? Nathan, I've taken a break from posting, but I'm always lurking, he says. Sunnyshine says, your song comes out on Mama Flynn's birthday. Well, happy birthday, Mama Flynn, on March the 13th. That would be this Friday. So, you know, happy birthday. All right, Abby says filet. So that's what, filet mignon, right? Low stakes, pun intended. I wish I had been thinking that cleverly, but I wasn't. All right, so I guess we're seasoned. I mean, I got my salt and pepper on both sides. I can smell the garlic powder, which I only put on one side because I think I overdid it. All right, let's go over here. Let's get ready. And then I'm going to make sure that I have a plate to put these on. Put the butter over the top and let them rest. Then I'll try it, and then we'll cube it. But we'll do a little bit of a leek first. Nathan says New York strip is my favorite. It's the goat. Okay, so here's my other question. The kind that I've had the most often is sirloin, because that's what they serve at O'Charlie's, and like I don't go to steakhouses that often, so when I've gotten steak, it's typically been at an O'Charlie's. If you're not from the Midwest, you probably don't even know what that is. Excuse me. So, like, what are the characteristic differences between the different cuts of steak? What makes it your favorite? What makes one better than another, in your humble opinion? Okay, here we go. We're going to put a little bit of avocado oil in this skillet. I've had it just heating up on high the whole time I've been yapping at you. Sunnyshine says sirloin and New York strip for sure. Cool, cool. Nathan, tell Jabney to stop speaking Spanish in the Discord. And there's a whole meta conversation going on over in YouTube right now. All right, let's get some avocado oil in this skillet. Shout out to Jacob and Sarah for turning me on to avocado oil. And you guys will be happy to know too, I've been making my eggs every day in butter and not in olive oil anymore. Okay, that is actually still kind of smoking a little bit, so we know it's hot. Like, serious hot. I'm gonna move that off the heat for just a second. So it says our recipe says if you're cooking a thin steak, a ½ inch, you can do it for 2 minutes per side in a hot cast iron skillet. This is not a cast iron, so maybe we'll need it a little bit longer. Well, let's just find out. All right, here we go. We're gonna lay these in. Brace yourself. That's a cool sound. All right. Hey Siri, set a timer for 2 minutes. Okay, she's counting down. New York strip is just what I've had the most, so by default it's my favorite. Nathan says, I don't cook ever, so I don't use avocado oil, but I know Lesser Evil makes some of their snacks with avocado oil. Yeah, I've never heard of that company. I've been getting, instead of potato chips recently, I've been getting sweet potato chips. And the flavor I've been getting is like sea salt and avocado oil. I'm just trying to find clever little ways to snack healthier when I'm not straight up like eating cookies or pizza or something, you know. If I eat healthy most of the time, then and you know, go to the gym and all that stuff, then my indulgences just feel like not a problem. You know what I mean? You got to host a challenge for your followers called Sample the Sizzle. Winner gets a shout out. Callista, I asked what everyone's favorite type of steak is, what everyone's favorite cut is. Okay, we've got just about a minute left on this side. You can probably hear that sizzling in my mic. I'm going to go ahead and turn this range hood down. See if I can give you guys a little bit better of an overhead view here. A little over the shoulder with Sam. There we go. Got about 15 seconds left on this side. I suspect I'll need to go a little bit longer. I'm like a medium to medium well guy. I don't like my steak too rare. Okay, that was 2 minutes. My timer's going off, so we're gonna flip this over. That looks pretty good. Doesn't look like I've met, it smells great actually. Something about the garlic powder, I'm sure. But nothing looks wrong with that. Okay, that's pretty red on the inside there, but let's just chill out. Let's restart that timer. Another 2 minutes on this side. That is really loud. I'm sure, I don't know if you can hear that sizzling in my microphone, but that is really loud. Now here's the thing. That's the side it was cooking on, but this little flap here that kind of curled up on me, it's still pretty red. So I have a feeling we may need to do a little something. Maybe I should have preheated the oven, but I was just believing what the recipe told me, you know? Let's see what happens. Bro, I'm getting you a cast iron for your birthday. This is ridiculous. Why is this ridiculous? A skillet will still work, right? Am I wrong? See, this is why this is why we're on the adventure together. I admit my cooking ignorance. I'm good at the things I know how to cook. You've seen me do it. Some of you have sampled the results. So I'm not bad at cooking. I'm just ignorant about certain corners of the craft. I don't fully understand the dynamic of why like a cast iron would be better than this. I understand that it is, but I don't understand the why in this use case. Get him the one from Buc-ee's with the beaver logo in it, Abby says. Alice Cornett says ribeye steak with butter and mushrooms. Okay, so you dress it up. See, that concerns me a little bit. I may have to flip that over and give it a little go on the other side, but that's 2 minutes again on that side. I don't want to overcook it. That feels pretty, woo! Feels pretty done. I'm going to turn this heat way, way down and just leave it there for just a moment. And since I'm going to cube this anyway, I'm going to go ahead and cut through it. Oh yeah, we're good. We're good. Just that little piece is like kind of suspicious. Yeah, that should be fine. Okay. Now what she said, I'm going to set this to the side because I don't want to overcook this. I may already be flirting with that. Set that to the side. And then the recipe says give it another minute on the fat strip on the side. I don't know how I'm going to do that because this thing is so skinny. I guess I can just hold it, right? I can just kind of give it one of these, just I hope I'm doing this right. Not that I eat the fat, I cut it off. I can't imagine that eating a whole bunch of beef fat is good for you. I will consume it, like if I'm having pho at a Vietnamese restaurant, because I'm not necessarily trying to pick through the whole thing, but if there's big chunks, you know, I'll take it out and fold it into a napkin. But apparently there's something to like crisping up this edge or something. The live chat is blocking out my view from your cooking. I'm sorry, Callista. I decided to make this show all vertical. And there are pluses and minuses to that. All right. Let's do the other one. I cut this other one in half already, so I'm going to have to do this twice over. Smells good, though. Doesn't smell like I've messed anything up. You might want to invest in tongs. You know something? That's a great thought. And the worst part is, I think I may actually have some tongs. And I just forgot about it. Okay. And then we'll do the other half here that I cut off. Again, it looks pretty good. I'm not unhappy with the results that I'm seeing. Again, I know I did this on easy mode. I know it. 1/2 inch thick New York strip, 2 minutes on each side. I get it. This was as easy as it could possibly be, but if I can get this right, then that will instill like confidence and experience points for the next level. Okay, set that to the side. Take the skillet off the heat. Okay, let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at this together, all right? You see that plate? Okay. So here's the first half that I cut. It's cooked through. It still looks juicy on the inside. I don't really see any pink, but again, it's just a 1/2 inch. So cooked through pretty quickly. But color looks pretty good. So let's try it. And then while I'm dicing this up, we'll do a little music leak. But first I got to take a little bite, right? I have to know. Oh, wait. No. I have to put butter on this. What am I doing? Chat, why didn't you stop me? I learned to sear it and then cook it in the oven, but then when I looked it up, I was told that was wrong. No, Abby, the recipe I'm following tells you if you're doing an inch thick steak to do exactly that, to sear it on each side like I just did, and then have your oven preheated and put it in the oven. That's what you're supposed to do with even this recipe, unless you have a 1/2 incher, which is what I had. So again, started on easy mode. Where's my butter? There it is. You're definitely supposed to let it sit before cutting it though. Okay. Yeah, no, keep giving me your wisdom, guys. Like, I have no pride in ownership here. I want to learn to be good. Eventually, I want to get to the point where I'm doing like the Gordon Ramsay thing and, you know, spooning butter onto the top of it while it cooks in the skillet. That's what I want. Like, I want to be good at the thing. All right, so we're just going to put some butter on each half of this. Let that melt down. And then spread it out. I should have put the butter on way sooner. It's not melting very fast. It is melting though. Okay, all right, that's all right. This is how we learn. Callista, you don't want my cooking wisdom. Why not? What do you cook? I guess I've never had... You strike me as someone who bakes, though. Like you probably have invested some real time in your life into like cookies and muffins, right? I know you're a cookie person. You've already told me that. JL says, next time you do this, come over to my place and we'll cook some Axis steaks. You know what would be, dude, Let Him Cook goes on the road? Yes. I've even thought about like having some people over and doing it like with a group of people here sometime once I'm more set up for that, like making dinner for a group of people, and that's the shtick of that show. Maybe 3 or 4 people at a time, and I'm making a large dish of Japanese curry or something, and then we do like a Bible study or discuss it or talk about or preview some music or something like that. There's all kinds of places we could go with this, but I would love to do that. That would be so cool. Okay, my butter's melting down here. Make sure it's covering the whole thing. Each of these 4 halves I just made. Okay, here we go. That's good. It's slightly overcooked, which I think was going to be really easy to do with how thin it is. It's a little bit overcooked, so it's kind of dry on the inside despite my, I'll say, best efforts, but again, I'm just learning. So that's usable. I'm going to dice this up in order to, we're going to go ahead and make dinner together since that was just a really short recipe. Next time, we'll probably level up to like a sirloin or something. But I'm going to dice this up in order to make this little like Mediterranean salad thing that I've been making. In the meantime, it's time for a leak, guys. Sunshine says, Mom butters the raw seasoned steak and then cooks it, just like the eggs. It's the best way to do it. Okay, interesting. Interesting. I could see that working, like kind of caramelizing the butter on the outside a little bit. Or not caramelizing, but kind of helping that fry thing happen. Okay, all right. All right, it's time for a leak, my friends. It's only a minute long. It's actually a reel that I made to advertise the song when it comes out next week. But here's a little sneak peek at the last chorus of Stay, which we've talked about before. But then also a little sneak peek at an unfinished version of the music video. All right, here we go.
Sorry, how did that go?
That's the wrong one. That's a behind the scenes reel. Let's go to the right one. Here we go.
Sorry, how did that go again?
No, those are both wrong. I loaded the wrong file. If you will, bear with me for a moment.
Sorry, how did that go again? Okay, got it.
Okay, I fixed it. For real this time. Here we go.
I'll stay with you. I'll stay. Keep warm in the light of my truth. I'll stay. I'll stay with you. I'll stay. Keep warm in the light of my truth. And show you what love's meant to do. We'll show them what love's meant to do. I will stay.
So just a little peek. Just a little peek at what the music video is going to look like. I've just cut the fat strap off of this. I'm going to cut this into some basically cubed pieces so that we can add it to this Mediterranean salad as the protein. I'm glad to know that even though I slightly overcooked it, that it really is just as easy as the article made it sound. So For sure, next time we'll level up, do something thicker. And then once we've gone on to thicker steaks, we'll use that oven method because I keep seeing it all over the place. Once we've done that, we can go on to maybe some more involved recipes. Because again, my goal is to get to that Gordon Ramsay recipe where he's all active and doing the butter in the skillet and everything. Maybe I'll wait until I've got that cast iron though. Jacob, that blonde girl is in fact not single. You know what? Have you ever seen, sometimes I watch those anesthesia videos of people waking up after like a dental procedure or whatever. And one of the best ones is this guy wakes up and it's like his wife or his girlfriend, his significant other is there, but he doesn't know, like it hasn't dawned on him that that's who she is. And when she tells him, she's like, "I'm your girlfriend." He's so excited. It's kind of stupid cute. It's really funny. But that's what that made me think of. I like how you guys brought an underrated instrument into it. My favorite instrument, actually, Callista. Oh, so the ukulele. Well, yeah, we were in the studio the day that we recorded it, and the uke was on the wall. Jacob, how did we end up like choosing to pick up the uke? Was that pre-planned, or did it happen sort of organically during our collaboration day when we were working on that? Which, speaking of which, while I continue cutting this steak, let me share with you guys some footage from that as well. Most of you have probably already seen it because this is a reel I posted earlier today. But if you haven't, here's a little look into not the only creation day spent on it, but one of the creation days we spent on this song.
I'll stay with you. I'll stay.
Sorry, how did that go again?
The solution.
Okay, got it.
Ew. That was your chorus, bro.
I thought that was all prelude. Okay, give me a measure.
You gotta measure.
I'll stay with you.
Sarah.
I'll stay.
Same mic
He just
placement.
really likes you.
I do, but not when your mic placement's
Oh,
terrible.
sorry, do I just keep moving?
Stay in roughly the same spot. Right
Oh,
there.
sorry.
Right where you were.
You
Slide.
moved me centimeters,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, well, damn centimeters matter.
Stay with you. I'll stay. Keep warm in the light of my truth.
So if we learned anything from that, Jacob, it's that, yes, that girl is single, but only when she has bad mic technique. Okay, I cut off the fat strap from the back because I don't want that in my salad. So let's just let's get rid of that here. And then let's make dinner. So, something I've been trying to do when we do these live streams, aside from just talk about food and music and fun stuff or geeky stuff, is to have a deep thought of the day. I wrote this down, I think it was yesterday I wrote this down. And I want you to think about this statement for a second. And, I mean, feel free to discuss in the chat while I get this rice out. But I wrote this down. Prayer is partnership. Let me explain to you what I mean by that. You know, there's a certain line of thinking about God, and sometimes it's spoken, sometimes it's unspoken, and it's just more assumed. But it essentially boils down to this idea that God kind of does whatever he wants to do at random. And as a result of his sovereignty, whatever people think that does or doesn't mean, That means sometimes he does, sometimes he doesn't, regarding a whole lot of things in life. And there's a lot of rabbit trails you could follow that down. But for a lot of scriptural reasons, not the least of which is prayer, that doesn't make any sense. So if you take into account the fact that everything God was ever going to do was established in Jesus, if you take into account the fact that there is no blessing available to people at all except through Jesus, if you're going to roll with the idea that God is just going to do whatever he's going to do in the earth anyway, seemingly at random with no consistency based on his word, then there's no use to pray to begin with. Like, prayer is a waste of time. Because it's like, oh Lord, do this, do that. Except we know that you're sovereign, so you're going to do whatever you're going to do anyway, and it might be good and it might be bad. So we're praying, but we know you're sovereign and we know you're going to do whatever. So really, why are we praying? So then what's the point of prayer? The point of prayer is that his will is consistent. His will is good. And that phrase, God's will, gets so mystified to people when really it just means what he wants. Like, as a person, what does God want? Whatever you want, that's your will, right? Sam wants to make dinner, that's the will of Sam. If I make it sound sanctimonious, but let's strip the sanctimony away from it for a moment. It just means what you want. So what does God want? Well, God made really apparent what he wanted in his word. Jesus told us to pray. Now, this is interesting. When Jesus was teaching his disciples this template for prayer, he says to pray that God's will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Well, if it was automatically going to happen on earth as it is in heaven, then there's no use to pray that. The Bible tells us that it's not God's will for any man to perish, right? The idea being, it is not what God wants. God does not want anyone to die without accepting Jesus and knowing him. Yet we know it happens. So that on its own is already evidence that things happen all the time that are not what God wants, that are not God's will. So that already totally undoes this idea that God is in control of every little thing and every decision that people make and puppeteering things. I'm not saying that he doesn't have influence in the earth. I'm not saying he doesn't work through people, but I believe a lot of that happens because of people's obedience and because of their prayer. So then why do we pray? If what God wants is consistent, but we have been given authority in the earth, if you look at Genesis, and we were given this legal right to run things here, which is why we were also given the legal right to mess it up, then prayer is saying, okay, Lord, I'm going to partner with what you actually want, and I'm going to give you my words in order for us to see more of what you want happening in my life and in the world around me. All of that out of this one little statement, prayer is partnership. I'm still kind of simmering on it. Like I said, I wrote it down yesterday as I was listening to and thinking about some things. But that's the deep thought of the day. Jacob says, I don't know whose idea it was to first pull it off of the wall. It sort of was a joke because every song Sarah recorded has ukulele in it. But Sarah wasn't even in the room when we recorded the uke, and we're both like, wow, that actually works really well. You know what I think it was? I think I was anticipating there being a guitar there. There's a lot of acoustic guitar through the song, and I think I was expecting that to be the case in that moment. And we grabbed the uke just to kind of fill it in or try it. And yeah, I think that's what happened. I think we were both like, actually though, that's kind of great. Calista says, fun fact, I taught myself the uke. I did not know that. Well, I'll have to see you play sometime. I don't think I've ever actually seen you. Calista, I don't know if I've ever seen you play an instrument at all. So we're going to make this salad, this kind of makeshift kava bowl, just right here in my rice bowl, because I only have a little bit of rice left. I need to make some more. So I'm going to go ahead and microwave this rice, get it heated up. Put that in for about a minute. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna layer that with the steak that we just made. Some baby spinach and baby kale mix. I've got some roasted red pepper hummus. And I have some tomatoes, just a little bit left of some diced tomatoes in olive oil that I made the other day. This is probably the last time I'm gonna use this. It's looking a little funky, but it's good enough for now. And some Kalamata olives, and then some basics with the carrots, and we're gonna dress that with 3 things. I've been using the cilantro avocado dressing, and it's all right, but we're gonna add to that a little bit of Cholula and then curry powder. This curry powder really helps unify everything, and that plus the olives gives it a pretty patently Mediterranean vibe. And it just feels super healthy too. JL says, Jacob says, most instruments for me are just I can pick it up and play it well enough to record, except for bass and piano. Yeah, no, I'm kind of the same way. Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. Like most of the stuff that I've produced, I've played all the instruments on, because you know you practice to the level that recorded music requires it. Primarily, I work from the piano, from the keyboard most of the time because I can sequence everything from there. But if you've been watching my story recently, I've been working on some Reclaimers music, and super excited about that, by the way. This song is, do you guys remember the reel I posted a long time ago, that like kind of Linkin Park sounding track? I wasn't raised by wolves, but I've slain a lot. It's that song, and I've been working on like the bridge and the breakdown and like the second verse to it, kind of trying to bring it all together. It's been fun. Elizabeth just jumped in on Instagram. She says hi. Hi back. I do think I was the one who actually played the uke in that moment, but it doesn't matter. You look good. You look good with a ukulele contemplating in the window, right? Come on. All right, so we've got our bed of rice. My steak is hiding from me somewhere. There it is. All right. Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to make more next time too, because that is not a lot. Like when you look at it, that's not a lot. So we're going to take a small handful of that, probably the equivalent of half of one of those. Drop that in there for the protein. Elizabeth says, how's your night going? You know, my night is going fine. Making dinner, talking music and deep thoughts with my people here. Before I jumped onto this live stream, I was actually working on the edit for a new music video. And I'm really trying to get as much done on that as I can tonight. So as soon as I jump off of this live stream, I'm going to be back at it for a while. Trying to lock down the edit. If any of you are video geeks, you may be able to relate to what I'm about to say, but I'm trying to get the edit locked down so that then I can get to the color grading and the post-processing. There's some stuff that I'm going to have to use some visual effects tricks on in this video. Just some objects that I want to hide, some shots I need to clean up with some compositing tricks. So the sooner I can get the edit locked down, the sooner I can then get in and start fixing those things and call the video done. I'm making an effort these days to just be faster than I used to be at these things. Okay, so you can see our progress here. We have our bed of rice, we've got our steak in there sprinkled in, and now we're drizzling in our kale and baby spinach. I know a lot of people do this, but I always put a paper towel in the container to absorb some of the excess moisture. It helps the spinach stay good for longer. Okay, I'm gonna drop in, grab a spoon here so I don't have to constantly wash my hands through this whole process. All right, drop in some of these tomatoes and drizzle that over the top. It is sort of satisfying when the food you make is really colorful. It scratches something very particular in my brain. He called it my tiny guitar one time and I was offended. Okay, I have to show you guys something since we're talking about this. I have a guitarlele. I don't have a ukulele. A guitarlele is, it's a 6-string ukulele tuned in the intervals of a guitar. It's just in G standard because the scale length is small. Give me a second, I'll go grab it. Okay, what I love about this is that I didn't have to learn different fingerings. All my guitar skills just transfer. So nice. Love this thing. Probably need to get new strings on it. It's had the same strings for 5 ever, but they're just, you know, little nylon strings. But it's great. It's great because it's versatile. That bowl is looking a little underwhelming. I'm gonna put some more leaves in there. Callista, it has a title. Oh, does your uke have a name? Is that what you're saying? You've named your ukulele? What is the name of your uke? Cam, what's up, Cameron? Cameron's in here. I was just at his place helping him with a new track too, so keep an eye out. He's got some music on the way. And he's also, as he just said in the chat, Cameron is, even though he primarily operates as a drummer most of the time, he is a good guitar player and he's a great guitar tech because Homeboy used to work at a music store and do setups all the time. Abby says, I have your stream and a storm chasing stream playing at the same time, and the background music to a large tornado was crazy. Like you're watching a huge tornado and I'm over here playing SpongeBob. I'm trying to, it's easier with a pick. I'm trying to play the little SpongeBob thing, but even so, like, you're watching storm footage and you get... Hopefully that was a little bit ironic. Pray against those tornadoes, though. Don't nobody need their house destroyed or their livestock damaged or whatever. Okay, so we've got our bed of rice, we've got our steak in there, we've got our greens and our tomatoes. I'm gonna throw in some shredded carrots. Really, the cheat code here is the olives. I feel like they bring everything together in kind of like a, ooh, it tastes like I got this at a pizza shop sort of way. It's a fresh jar. Somebody sample that. Somebody sample that sound. Last time I got these, I didn't get them pre-sliced, and I regretted that choice because I had to slice them myself all the time. I still have a few of those left. Okay, drop our olives in there. Wash off our spoon, get some hummus. Jacob wants to know, dude, what storm chasing stream? Abby is an aficionado of meteorology. It's one of her passion side hobbies from what I've learned. Max Velocity, she said. Everybody leaves the stream and watches Max Velocity. Maybe I'll just do a little picture-in-picture. I'll pull up Max Velocity in OBS and I'll put him in the corner right here. after this stream is over, we'll all go we'll all go stream bomb Max Velocity and jump into the chat together, huh? Do that while I eat dinner. Okay, so got some red pepper hummus here. We're just gonna dollop this in a little bit on either side. And essentially, I just end up really mixing it all in for texture and flavor. It's not like I ever get a mouthful of hummus when I'm eating this. Not that I would be mad if I did, it's fine, but... Jacob says, also, Abby, we clearly have more in common than I once knew. I dig storm chasers and green bean casseroles. Literally twins. Sam, I sent you a photo of you on the storm chasing. Okay, let's take a look. Let's see what I got here. Not the cheesy smile on my face. Look at this. Look at this. Hang on. Get my camera to focus. Me just cheesing next to the radar flipping out. Come on. That's hilarious. I love that you got that freeze frame. That's probably going to be the thumbnail for this live stream. Okay, we've got our red pepper hummus. We've got, so pretty much everything is in our bowl. And now we got to dress it. So, like I said, the core of this dressing is this cilantro avocado. So we'll be pretty generous with that. Keep things fun, we're going to add some Cholula as we do. Not too much, just enough for some flavor. And then my secret weapon with these recently has been curry powder. Curry powder is just good for you too. There's turmeric in it, which is like a great anti-inflammatory plant. I never feel guilty about some curry powder. So now things are looking a lot more red and festive, and man, I smell that curry powder. New weather guy in pursuit. Sam Naperville. Who is this person? I don't even know who this is. AB Nice? I don't know who that is. Now I'm just going to mix this all together. And that's pretty much it, guys. So we made steak for the first time. I did it the way that even a child could do it. And thankfully I didn't mess it up too bad. Now I'm just kind of mixing this together. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to play that song preview for you one more time for anybody who's just joined the stream, to get psyched for Stay, coming out on March the 13th, which is literally just this Friday. It drops this Friday. Here's what I would ask you all to do. Stream it a few times, add it to your playlist. The more Spotify sees a song being streamed within the first 48 hours to a week, the more it tends to want to pick it up in the algorithm. So I appreciate that help. I'm going to be running some advertisements for it too. But one last time, let me show you that preview, and then we'll come back here and maybe hatch a little plan to drop into a storm stream together all at the same time, huh? While I eat dinner. All right, let's see.
Sorry, how did that go again?
I'll stay with you. I'll stay. Keep warm in the light of my truth. I'll stay. I'll stay with you. I'll stay. Keep warm in the
Okay, guys, so excited about that. New track dropping this Friday, and there's more new music coming after that too. Deep thought of the day was prayer is partnership. And thank you guys so much for hanging out on both Instagram and YouTube tonight. I'm gonna eat this bowl. I got it all mixed together now. It looks a whole lot less pretty when it's mixed together, but flavor's great, and I've got the steak in there that we made. Okay, I'm gonna sign off, but honestly, I'm gonna head over to Max Velocity's live chat because now I'm just super curious based on this conversation. So if I see you over there, all right guys, till next time, onward and upward.